Happy International Women's Day! Oh, I am woman, hear me roar. Can we have one more? Yeah! Oh, I'm so excited for today. I'm Teresa Tova. For those of you who don't know, I'm honored to be here today, standing in for our ACTRA National President, Eleanor Noble, who sends her deepest regrets. She so wanted to be here in person. I am ACTRA National Treasurer, corralled into that role by the woman of the hour. I am sitting past president of ACTRA Toronto, and I say sitting because looking out at this room, and I just know that there are a lot of presidents in this room. I'm an actor and a very proud ACTRA member. So thank you. Thank you all for joining us in person. It feels so wonderful, doesn't it? And hello to, there you are, all of those who are joining us on Zoom. Hi, how are you out there? Oh, look at you all! Oh, that is just wonderful. Thank you for joining us for today's ACTRA Woman of the Year celebration. We are here to celebrate Ferne Downey. Now, for those of you on Zoom, we have live captioners working with us today. So all you need to do is turn on the caption button at the bottom of your screen. I am told that will work. Okay, good. Oh, there's Ferne waving at the screen. That's wonderful. I hope you can see that. Everybody wave back. There you go. That's wonderful. Now, as we do at all our ACTRA meetings and celebrations, we start every meeting with the reading of the land acknowledgement, and I'm going to ask Heather Allen. Are you here, Heather? There you are. ACTRA National Councillor, past president, see I told you, of ACTRA Toronto, and past chair of the ACTRA National Women's Committee to come up and do the honors. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you, Tova.
Oh, so glad you're here.
Ferne, my love. Okay, all right. So, although this meeting is online, we acknowledge that we live, work, meet, and travel on the traditional territories of Indigenous peoples, that have cared for this land, now called Canada, since time immemorial. These lands are either subject to First Nations self-government under modern treaty, unceded and unsurrendered territories, or traditional territories from which First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples have been displaced. We recognize that we are all treaty people and seek to work towards redressing the injustices from which settlers of this land have benefited.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, next we are going to invite two more friends, Kyra Harper and Deb McGrath, up to please read ACTRA's equality statement. We start all our meetings with this as well. Hello, friends.
Hi.
Here you go.
Hi. Union solidarity is based on the principle that all union members are equal. Mutual respect, cooperation, and understanding are our goals. We embrace an open and inclusive environment and encourage respectful behavior that affirms the dignity of all individuals. We neither condone nor tolerate behavior that undermines the dignity or self-esteem of any individual or creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive environment. Discriminatory speech or conduct based on gender, gender identity, sexual orientation, race, disability, age, class, language, religion, ethnic origin, membership, region or work category, or family status hurts and divides us.
Discrimination can take the form of harassment, defined as using real or perceived power to abuse, devalue, or humiliate. Discrimination and harassment weaken our solidarity, reducing our capacity to work together on shared concerns, such as decent wages, safe working conditions, and justice for all. ACTRA's Constitution, bylaws, practices, and collective agreements reflect our commitment to equality and respect. Complaints of harassment and discrimination are taken seriously by ACTRA and should be directed to the President or their designate. All will be investigated, and those substantiated will result in action by the union. ACTRA activities are to be harassment-free zones where our members' dignity and equality are respected.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Kyra. Thank you, Deb. Those are words that we live by here at this union. And today we celebrate women. And we should actually celebrate women every day. But today is especially important. ACTRA proudly celebrates the achievements of women within our union by recognizing an ACTRA woman as Woman of the Year for their contribution to advance women within ACTRA and the recorded media industry, for their advocacy and for their volunteer work within society. Now, past recipients, we started giving this award in 2010, and past recipients for this prestigious award, the list reads like a list of badass women you really want to have on your side, in your corner. Shirley Douglas, our first honoree, talking to us passionately about health care before anybody knew that it was in danger. Tantu Cardinal, advocating for the development of Indigenous performers. Sandy Ross, the first time I heard diversity is our strength. Mary Walsh, our Newfoundland warrior princess, elevating political satire, Jean Freeman. Oh, do you remember that, Fern? Honoring Jean, a pioneer in Saskatchewan TV and film industry. Oh, and then out of BC, Amanda Tapping, who was a trailblazer when it came to web series and her humanitarian work. And then Catherine Joelle McKinnon, creating a deaf film festival, creating awareness, positive awareness for deaf performers, for actors, promoting accessibility before we had committees doing the same. Tina Keeper from Manitoba, deeply committed to the growth and development of her Indigenous community performers and projects. Rita Shelton Deverell, pioneering her work as a broadcaster, and then her passion for social justice. Rita was the first person to pen our ACTRA's first study on diversity and equal opportunities, which is what it was called at the time. And then Noreen Golfman from Newfoundland and Labrador, advancing gender equity in the recorded media industries. Our next honoree was Sarah Pauley. My gosh, Sarah. Couldn't find a more passionate voice, fighting for children performers to be protected in this industry, exposing the abuses that she suffered as a child performer, and then her writing continues. Gender expression, gender equality, and women's rights with Women Talking. Andrea Menard, joining her Indigenous colleagues to continue to push for boundaries, to open up, to advance Indigenous representation on our screens. And then last year's award winner, Juanita Peters from Nova Scotia. She began her career as a news reporter at CBC Radio and Television in the 80s and 90s, and is the executive director of the Africaville Museum in Halifax, Nova Scotia. What a richness we have of women that we have honored. And as unique as all these previous winners have been, I have to say that today is a very, very special day as we celebrate one of our own. Let's look at the ACTRA 2023 National Woman of the Year.
She's the woman, the darkness and the light. She's the woman who sings alone at night. She's the woman, a sister of the wild. She is the woman.
Ferne Downey has been an inspiration and role model to so many of us. For 8 years, Ferne served as our trusted national president, being only the second woman in this position at ACTRA. Amongst her many important responsibilities, which included bargaining all our collective agreements, she chaired industry-wide roundtables on sexual harassment, providing a safe space for people to tell their stories, which led to changing behavior in our industry forever.
It's critical we elect a new government that understands a vibrant Canadian film, TV, and digital media industry translates to jobs, strengthens our national identity, and benefits everyone. Get involved in casting our next government. A great video tells a great story, and that's the job of an actor. We bring your story to life, we make it real. Happy World Intellectual Property Day! I'm Ferne Downey, the president of ACTRA National, but I'm also proud to be the president of the International Federation of Actors, FIA. So there's a very simple way you can help performers around the world, and I'm going to tell you how. But first, I love the way technology is evolving. Today, we consume our entertainment on multiple platforms, anywhere, anytime. So, what does that mean for audiovisual performers? It means our collective management organizations are more important than ever.
Ferne also put our union on the international stage by serving as president of the International Federation of Actors, FIA. She was the first North American to lead the federation, and she mentored Gabrielle Carteras to take over the leadership today.
How appropriate that we would honor you, Ferne, with the Woman of the Year for ACTRA on International Women's Day. For your work has been truly international. Your work through FIA has changed the lives of performers for the better around the world. My challenge here is to say something that not several other people have already said, so I think I've got a solution for that. It's about my interactions with you. And I have always found that you are a person with the capacity to listen, to truly hear what's being said and what's being felt behind that, and to take action that's appropriate in that circumstance. I've always found you a person of great humility, and I've always found you to be a great leader. I'm grateful for you, Ferne. Enjoy the day.
Ferne continues to serve us as chair of the Board of Governors of AFBS. Ferne truly raised the bar for women in our screen industry. She has been and continues to be a tremendous force of change in the labor movement. She also has the uncanny ability to make you feel like she's known you all her life. With her signature white hair and her red lipstick, she has always exuded power in the best way. And on a personal note, when I contemplated running for national president, I received a call from Ferne sharing her experience leading ACTRA. That heartfelt and passionate discussion sealed the deal for me, and here I am today. Thank you, Ferne, for that support and confidence in me. The motion was unanimously passed, and I'm extremely honored and very proud to announce that you are the 2023 Woman of the Year. On behalf of all of us from across the country, congratulations on your recognition as 2023 ACTRA National Woman of the Year. Well done. You so deserve it, Ferne.
Hi, my name is Jen Bienz, and I'm the chair of the ACTRA National Women's Committee. On behalf of the entire committee, I just wanted to say a congratulations and say that I am so honored to be presenting Ferne with the ACTRA National Woman of the Year Award. She's had an incredible career, not only as a performer, but as a leader and an activist. I know she's been an example in leadership and humanity to so many, including myself. So this award is well deserved.
She's the woman.
We'll get Ferne up in a minute. She's the one. She's our goddess. She's our litmus test. She's the one we go to still for advice. Ferne Downey, you are one of the most graceful, gracious, wise, rock-steady women I've ever met. You're a union leader, brilliant performer, a producer, and an amazing, inspiring activist. Fern's contributions to our union and to our industry have spanned over 30 years, my friends. 30 years of tireless volunteering. And her engagement began with us at a time when ACTRA was reinventing itself to become a member-run union. And I met Fern, my dear friend. I met you shortly before our 95-96 landmark IPA negotiations. Fern did what she does with everyone, what she does with so many of us. She took me under her wing and she mentored me. She taught me patience. She taught me perseverance and stick-to-itness, right, in this political world, because our voices needed to be heard, and they just weren't there. She encouraged us to stand up as by example, and at other times by direct asks. I think I still chair an organization you asked me to take over for you. No, Fern lifts everyone up. Everyone around her. She is brave, she is kind, she is fair, she is compassionate. She was the leader at ACTRA that we needed and that everyone trusted. Under Fern's leadership, we built bridges with our sibling branches across the country. Fern said in our first meeting of the officers, she said to us, when she asked us to join her there with Alvin from BC, I remember so carefully, so well, I mean, Fern said, "We will, under my presidency, be a united national union," and then she gathered allies and made it so. Thank you, Fern. You helped us heal. She served, as Eleanor said, an unprecedented 8 years as ACTRA National President. That's 4 terms. Never happened in our history before. But while also chairing the International Federation of Actors Unions. She's an overachiever as well. And I'm convinced that Fern would have easily won a 5th term. I don't think anyone would have even run against her. She chose to. But I promised not to ask her to run again. And I kept my promise. She worked to bring the industry together on CUES, the what's it stand for, Fern? Canadian Unions for Equality on Screen, and worked with academics and did research and was really the impetus for the whole industry coming together to do our first gender studies, and boy were we woefully underrepresented as women. In the Me Too movement, as we brought the industry together to say we have these issues here, we are ashamed of these issues and the way we've been treating our women. She chaired the Creative Industries Coalition, brought the whole industry together, changed the culture of bullying, discrimination, sexual harassment. She shifted and reshaped the landscape for our industry, for women in this nutty, nutty industry. And she continues as chair of AFBS. How lucky we are to still have you in our corner, Fern. It is with great joy and great pride that today, on International Women's Day, we present Ferne Downey with the Woman of the Year Award. Carol, can you? There we go. Look at this brilliant thing. Fern, could you come and join us? Yes. Now's the time, friends. Look at this. You see? You see? You see? And we'll explain that. Careful, it's 2 pieces. Yeah, careful. I'll hold it if you want while you're speaking.
Thank you.
We'll explain about this amazing award after you speak, if that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah?
If I can find my voice again after all this, but this is
hold
extraordinary. Thank you.
Do you want me to hold it?
Yes, I do.
And you'll all have to take a close look at it when you can.
I feel like I'm a hologram.
I
feel like I've been
You are a
doubled.
hologram.
I'm going to live forever. I think it's how it's going to go. Thank you, Tova, for those excessively generous words.
Not excessive at all.
I love you more than life.
Yeah, true.
All right, I'm going to do my notes now, am I?
Go.
All right, good. Hello, Zoomed loved ones. I see people from some strange time zones. Thank you for being with us today. And thank you to you crazy people who have come today in person. I am just over the moon. So, I am proud to be a member of this strong union, ACTRA. I am deeply grateful to receive this honor from you, my peers across the country. You are the community that I love, and my heart is full to bursting. It's funny seeing your whole life flash before you in that slideshow. Holy Dinah, I was in a lot of rooms. ACTRA gave my life a special kind of purpose and led me to a leading role internationally as the president of FIA, the International Federation of Actors. At FIA, I learned much more about the struggles and triumphs of artists all over the world and what unions were doing to strengthen artists' rights and respect for performers. So as a member and a leader, I'm proud to fight for what's fair and right, and fight for as long as it takes. My energy was constantly renewed in my, 30 years of service, because there was always something that needed doing. And opportunities abound to make advances for performers who are vulnerable as individuals, but have superpowers as part of the group. So happy birthday to ACTRA! It began 80 years ago, since radio actors and writers decided that working for $1 a hauler was poor payment, and that they could do much better negotiating together. From the beginning, our story is about passionate, dedicated change makers. Two of the change makers that drew me to the union service in 1991 were David Ferry and Barry Flatman. David says I resisted. I don't recall that, but I might have. You know them as actors, but they are also architects of ACTRA. They literally dreamed up the structure of ACTRA as we know it today. Run by the members, it was a seismic shift fueled by hope. They had the imagination to see it and convince me of the rightness of the adventure to come. There was work to be done, right, David? Okay, there was lots of work to be done. And into this massive transition I leapt. It was productive, hard, transformative work, and I stayed committed to it. Sandy Ross, president of ACTRA Toronto before me, was a powerful influence and a good friend. Leading actors like Teresa Tova stood for election at branch councils. We got our house in order, put one foot in front of the other, and learned to communicate clearly. We kept our heads up and learned union governance together, keeping intelligent positivity at the heart of it, building trust. Not that it was always a smooth road. It wasn't. But we worked through it and gained strength together. I was elected national president in 2009, only the second woman to lead ACTRA, and I wanted to take advantage of that reality to push for better on-screen representation for our underrepresented members. Dr. Amanda Coles, from Melbourne, Australia now, I see on the Zoom call, is a global scholar and a former IATSE member from Hamilton, and she was fascinated by unions in the Canadian screen-based industries. Ultimately, the ACTRA National Women's Committee sparked years of collaboration that led to Focus on Women, a report on gender inequality in the Canadian screen-based production industry, written by Dr. Coles. And we invited the Directors Guild of Canada, the Writers Guild of Canada, NABET, Union des Artistes, IATSE, and a feminist organization called Women in View to the table. We called ourselves CUES, Canadian Unions for Equality on Screen. And guess who was ACTRA Director of Public Policy and Communication at that time? Yeah.
None other than Marit Stiles, newly elected leader of the Ontario NDP and future Premier of Ontario. But I digress. I think there's a chance she's coming today if she can get out of the scrum. Hello! Yay!
Timing.
Good timing. The report was launched simultaneously in Toronto and Vancouver and got a fantastic reaction. We had facts and figures and graphs to make our arguments crystal clear to the public policy organizations that were underserving a significant portion of our members. Telefilm Canada, the Canadian Media Fund, the CRTC, and all the provincial funding organizations got a cold water wake-up call. It was thrilling and gave us some fresh ammunition in a battle for equity that has gained support and momentum. A debt of gratitude is owed to Heather Allen and Christine Willis, among many, many others. Our work is part of a continuum. Nurturing industry-wide relationships allowed us to build an industry-wide response to the horrors of Me Too. It was a great honor to chair the Creative Industries Roundtable that led to the Code of Conduct that began the process of framing how we would collectively deal with harassment, violence, bullying, and discrimination in our industry. It is a true fact that ACTRA has some of the best collective agreements in the world, bar none. We had some brilliance in our bargaining rooms. Senior staff in the old days, like Paul Siren, in recent past, Stephen Waddell, collaborated with great bargaining teams to help us make visionary gains in our contracts, especially in the realm of what we used to call new media. The struggle for strong contracts never ends. But I have to say, to all my loved ones in this room, never, ever have I seen a wiser, more brilliant team than our team led by President Eleanor Noble and National Executive Director Marie Kelly, who are fighting for ACTRA's future. Union busting by one organization in our advertising ecosystem cannot stand. It has been a brutal 10 months for the actors locked out of commercial work in Canada, but solidarity is deep, and you will all continue to support your bargaining committee 100%. I know you will, and then you will win.
You're here.
So,
You're here.
what is my message for International Women's Day 2023? Well, find your place in your union. Connect with each other. Support each other and persist until you've created the lasting systemic change you desire. As they say, make good trouble. And never give up. And upon reflection, I had to think, so what was most important to me? I walked the walk. And I presented a decent feminist role model, I think, for the next generation of union leaders to come. Also, everybody, you've got to go see Sarah Polley's film, Women Talking, as soon as you can. It is an exquisite piece of filmmaking that will speak to you. My siblings that I helped raise are proud of me. My brother Kevin is in the room today, and some of my family's online. I missed a lot of family events being on the road for the union. You might tell by the pictures how often I was away. But I was working to make positive change, to shake things up, and I was proud of the work. I will leave you with a quote from the great pro-union woman Dolly Parton. If you don't take the reins, it's going to stay the same. Nothing's going to change if you don't change it. So a personal thank you to my Downey family, Kevin, Maya, Ross, Carol, Catherine, and Ava. And my spectacular spouse, Paul Ledoux.
Yeah. Paul.
I sure love you. And Dad and Mom, this one's for you. Thank you, beloveds all. And thank you, Zoom, for sticking with us. We love you.
Bravo.
Thank you. Can I sit down now?
What is this? Oh, sorry. Oh, online today, we've got people sending love and congrats. Juanita Peters. These are some messages we're getting in chats. Art Hindle, David Sparrow, members from across the country, and from Fia in Belgium. Yeah, and your family. You are, oh, I'm so sorry about the knocking of the mat. You are loved. You are our goddess. She is the one.
Thank you for the honoring. I have to sit down now, I really do. I think you do.
Yeah, Fern. Oh my gosh. Now let's explain a little bit about that. I know everybody wants to give her hugs, and we will in a moment. But, we've had different honorings for different Women of the Year over the years. And let's just take a moment to talk about this beautiful piece of art. The Women's Committee, the ACTRA National Women's Committee, asked us to incorporate an Indigenous representation in the award, Fern. Give them a minute. This is great. They need to take the shots now. An Indigenous representation in the award, in the design of the award, and we commissioned an artist, Lee Arden Lewis, to create the award for you, Fern. Lee is here with us. Lee is the artist who designed this beautiful artwork that you see on the award and also on the screens. There it is, on the screens around you. Lee is a status member of the Mohawks of the Bay of Quinte, Tyendinaga Mohawk Territory. Defending and enhancing the rights of Indigenous people is both Lee's passion and profession. Now, the artwork that you see there that Fern's holding is called Woman of the Year. And Lee, please, if you could join us up here and tell us a bit about the art that you designed for Fern's award and for the next awards in the future. Yeah. There you go. Come on up, Lee. Okay. No. Sorry. She has a painting. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah, we got it. We're getting it together, folks. Here you go. There's Lee, everybody. There's Lee.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. That was awesome. Thanks, everybody. I had to write my notes. I'm not an actor by any means, so I can't read. I wouldn't be able to tell you what I want to say about the piece I created without reading it. So I am honored to be here. I've met Fern many years ago, and what a privilege it is. I designed this piece. When I did, I took into consideration what it meant and how important the recipient must be to receive it. I thought of the values they must have, the overall presence of leadership and dignity, and representing ACTRA. Included in the artwork, maybe I'll hold that up now so they can see it. Oh, thank you.
Can you all see this, friends?
You're my Vanna White.
I'm your Vanna White. Yeah. Here you go, in color.
So, and it makes more sense when you see the color. Is included in the artwork is a feather. It represents honor, respect, courage, wisdom, strength. The Inukshuk is representing friendship and courage and hope. And the circle that encompasses the whole design represents ongoing communication and vision. All of these things we know you have. The background is turquoise blue. It represents Sky Woman, who in Haudenosaunee tradition, she was the woman that created, from Sky Woman created Earth on the back of Turtle Island, right? And then the four colors represents all the colors of human race, which represents inclusion. The extension from the face to the top of the circle, I was having a little fun with that, represents the image of strength and union, as the old classic painting by Howard Miller in 1943, funny enough, 80 years ago, created for Westinghouse, for the female workers, to give them umption and courage to work together through a very tough time, right? So that's the, we can do it. And that's what it said, we can do it. It was a woman, right? And it was coined later as a woman's place is in her union.
Wow.
Right? So I want to play that in there with the roots, and that's all together, it's all bound together. So a woman's place is in her union, but now I feel it has evolved into a woman's place is sitting at the head of the table. That's it. Thank you very much. It's an honor.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing this. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lee. It's brilliant. And we will be so honored to give this to our next recipients. It's, by the way, just a little note, if you don't already know, one of the other gifts we gave to an earlier recipient was Sandy Ross, may she rest in peace. But we commissioned a portrait by another artist, Jennifer Wigmore, who is also here in the room today. And it is hanging in a place of honor in our lobby out there. So please, before you leave, do take a good look at that honoring as well. We love having artists support our activists with these great gifts. Thank you, Lee. Thank you so much. A woman's place is in her union at the head of the table. All right. Well, I know you're here, Merritt. It was so amazing for both Fern and I and other ACTRA sisters to be there for your celebration a couple of weeks back. But it gives me great pleasure to introduce our special guest speaker. She's the newly minted leader of the official opposition, the Ontario NDP Ontario leader, Merritt Stiles. And many of you already know Merritt because of her time here when she worked for us at ACTRA National on this very floor just behind that wall, and spent many, many hours with Fern reinventing our communications and how we would present ourselves to the world as a union. She, first of all, as the Director of Research and Bargaining, and then later as the Director of Public Affairs and Communications. Merritt, there you are. I just watched you on Steve Paikin. You are brilliant. You are our next premier. Welcome home. The floor is yours.
Oh, that's got to come down, people. Thank you so much, and a special hello to everybody who's joining here online, all of our friends around the world and across the country, and it's wonderful to be back. I just want to say, first of all, to all of you, I'm just looking around the room. I know there's barely a dry eye here already, and I feel very moved to be here and to be invited, and very honored to be here on this day, on International Women's Day, and of course honoring this tremendous woman. And I want to thank Tova as well for her kind words. I did write down a few things because I didn't want to forget anything, but I wanted to say that first of all, that I often actually had the pleasure, I guess, of helping to organize some of these celebrations. And so it's really wonderful to see it, and to see all the wonderful work that's happened here. And I cannot think of a more deserving recipient. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Fern just for a moment. I mean, everybody else has already. But for me, as a woman who's now in a leadership position, Fern has been a friend. Fern has been a mentor, but Fern has taught me so much about so many things. I think in her own remarks, Fern talked about her role and how passionately she felt about the work that she's done over the years. But I want to say that I think that Fern's impact on this industry, but also on women's equity and equality, has been tremendous and very far-reaching, and will have massive impact for many years to come. Don't you agree? Yeah. Her passion, her smarts, her vibrancy has been absolutely infectious for anybody who knows her. And I do have a special place in my heart for somebody who loves data. And I want to say, really, Fern, it was your ability to see beyond, to see forward, and to understand how to tell the story that so many of the decision makers around our country needed to hear. And I want to thank you for understanding that and seeing that. And I think there's no question that it has completely changed and will continue to change the way that women are represented in this industry, both in front of and behind the camera. So thank you. Yeah. I know many of you here, women in particular, but everyone has been mentored by Fern. But I want to speak personally to say that Fern has taught so many of us what it means to truly lead with compassion, to lead with passion, to lead with vision and clarity. And she's taken a lot of every opportunity to make sure that women around her were given those opportunities as well. And that is something that you don't often see in leaders. I can tell you that. So I really, I want to say it is a bit unusual, right? And to share that space, to share the podium, is a really extraordinary gift to so many women. So I want to thank you, Ferne, for that. And I want to finally thank you for, on a really personal note too, for the way that you have centered your family, and also particularly shown so many of us what true partnership in life and in love with Paul means. It's been something that I personally have learned from and admired, and I want to thank you all. So Ferne, congratulations. You are so well deserved. By the way, there's a few ridings I'd like you to consider running in the next election. I think what you're missing here is the Minister Ferne Downey role, right? So, but it's never too late. And I really, again, deep congratulations to you and to everybody at ACTRA. Well deserved. Thank you.
And I just want to say we have some buttons in preparation for that run. We have them in black and white. We have them with ferns. We've tried to get you elected at a lot of places, Ferne, because you would be brilliant. And thank you, Marit, I'm so sorry, but thank you so much. And we really look forward to working on your campaign. I'm ready to cry. This has been such a wonderful celebration, hasn't it? Thank you all for being here. I just have a few thank yous, and then we're gonna mingle again. So I just want to thank everyone who spoke today. Heather, thank you, doll. Kyra, Deb, Marit, sorry, I keep saying that wrong. Lee. Thank you so much for your brilliant artwork. Everyone here in the room, thank you for coming. Thank you to everyone online. It's so good to see so many of you there. To Eleanor Noble, Keith Martin Gordy, Jen Viens, Marie Kelly, love you. Thanks to the ACTRA National Women's Communications team, the ITDS team, for organizing this amazing event, and thanks to ACTRA Toronto for your technical support. Takes a village. Thanks to both our ACTRA National Women's Committee and our branch committees across the country, and to our ACTRA National Council, to everyone for making this such a special celebration for Ferne. And most of all, thank you to you, Ferne.